Chief Schwarzenegger should be either in or on the phone, Biv. And I want to do COVID before him.
As the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
Being young protects us kids from a lot of things.
Like paying bills. And boring meetings. Blech.
But there's one big thing being young doesn't protect us from.
That's COVID.
Since August, COVID has made an average of 100,000 kids a week sick.
But now, kids 5 to 11 can get a vaccine tailored to give us the best protection.
For me.
For us.
For kids.
We can do this. Find a vaccine near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
The new year is here, and so are the new Toyotas. So visit your dealer and reserve yours today. Like the all-new Tundra, redesigned from the ground up and engineered for uncompromising power. Or explore the brand new Corolla Cross with available all-wheel drive and more cargo room than ever. Visit your Toyota dealer today or go online to buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Hurry, offers end January 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Sick of waiting for your furniture to arrive? Menards has furniture you need in stock. Plus, you get a free rug. That's right. Buy any upholstered living room furniture at $299 or more and get a free 5x7 area rug. That's $149.99 in savings. Need a new chair? How about a sectional? A new recliner or love seat? Buy one today, get a free rug. Hurry up, get to Menards before they're gone. In store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts. Thank you for riding with the Watchdog. Live and local, just the way you like it.
Hello, everyone, from the Watchdog. I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Monday. Mostly cloudy skies, a few snowflakes, a daytime high of 32 degrees. Overnight low down to about 20 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. You'll see cloudier conditions around for your Tuesday, with perhaps a few early morning snow flurries. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Hi there.
Say something nice to me.
Nice? You want me to say something nice?
Why should I do that?
Listen, buddy, it is National Compliment Day.
It's National Compliment Day.
National Compliment Day.
You're not that ugly.
Try again.
You're not fat. You're big bone.
You're not good at this.
You're not good at this.
Here, listen to these words.
Listen. Your smile.
It brightens up the room.
You're the most beautiful, most amazing woman ever.
Oh, that's a compliment.
Now that's a compliment.
Okay, my friends.
That's a compliment.
It's showtime.
On FM, on AM, online, on demand, and on video. We are where you are. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe is here now.
Yeah, I've heard that. You're not fat, you're big bone. Okay. It's a nice way of saying fat, but that's okay. I'm used to it. Even my little buddy Teddy told me yesterday when I said, can I go sled riding with you in your inner tube? He says, Granddad, we only have 2 patches left. So, I'm used to being told the truth because I have a 6-year-old that's around here all the time, and so I'm pretty well. I know I'm going to get the truth because the kid doesn't know how to lie. Just tells it like it is. Sometimes he says things that, like, his parents wish he wouldn't say. Granddad, do you know Daddy said that he thinks you shouldn't come down to the house? Oh, really? Granddaddy said that, or Daddy said that to me.
Hey, I give him credit. He doesn't sugarcoat it. Just tell it like it is.
No. Nope. You know, as adults, we say, well, he threw me under the bus. No, he didn't. The kid he believes in telling the truth. You know? Teddy, how's Granddaddy feeling? I don't think he feels very good. Stop that, Teddy. I feel fine. No, Granddad, I don't think you feel good. So, anyway. The truth will out. 9:12 on the Watchdog Morning Show. Snow showers coming in again later this afternoon. 1 to 2 additional inches, probably mid to late afternoon during the day today. High of 32, 22 for the low tonight. Single-digit lows over the next couple of nights. So it's going to be cold this week. Right now, 17 at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 17 here at my home studios, and 17 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Earlier, it didn't have a feels-like temperature. We must not have had much wind earlier, so the temperature was what the temperature was. But now, 17 degrees, feels like 8. So it's, again, feels like it's very cold outside. Momentarily, we'll talk with Wheeling's Police Chief, Sean Schwartzfeger. But first of all, I want to get a couple of quick COVID stories in here, Biff, at 9:13.
COVID-19 update.
First of all, I want you all to be aware that Hoppy Kercheval will not be on the air today. Hoppy is at home, in quarantine. Hoppy has contracted COVID and is in his 5-day quarantine at home. He says his symptoms are very mild. It's just like a bad cold, but he is nonetheless in quarantine, so he will be not on the show today, tomorrow. His quarantine started over the weekend, so he expects to be back in the big air chair on Wednesday. But Dave Wilson filling in today on Statewide Talkline. Hoppy has COVID. Across the state of West Virginia, hospitals see no indication of any slowdown with the new pandemic situation. We still have not seen the peak of the COVID Omicron variant, said Dr. Clay Marsh. And the West Virginia Hospital Association President Jim Kaufman said hospitals are still expecting to see more patients coming in. Hospitals across the state have not run out of beds, but their big problem, we've talked about this before, is the shortage of workers that continues to be the main issue. One day last week, the WVU medicine folks, Wheeling Hospital, Reynolds Hospital, and others, had said they were going to delay their vaccine mandate. And then the next day, they put a deadline on the vaccine mandate after the Supreme Court said that they could do that. So WVU medicine does have deadline dates on vaccine mandates. You have to be vaccinated, depending on your vaccination status. One shot, 2 shots, a booster shot, and also depending on when you were hired. But those dates are coming up quick. Down in Charleston, they're still debating whether to take away the authority of the school boards to decide whether students should wear masks or not. The HB 4207, I think it is. Anyways, there's a House bill being debated that would take away the authority of state school boards and would turn it over completely to the legislature, not to the state school board, not to anybody involved in education, but to the legislature. And they would mandate, the game plan is to mandate no school system can have a mask mandate. Question is, will the governor go along with that? The governor just came off a bout of COVID himself, and when asked about the mask bill on Friday, he said, well, I really don't believe we need to have mandates in our school, but we got a lot of really important stuff going on here. We got to watch it. We got to watch it. I'm not for mandating masks, but we made the decision of local control, and I think those folks did a heck of a good job. So, and finishes up, he says, my comment is, we've got a lot to do here. A lot to do. Biff, what the hell did that mean?
I have no idea. That's where you need the translator to help you figure that out.
Yeah, I know what it means. What it means is, I don't want to irritate anybody. I think masks are important, and I think schools should have that ability, but I don't want to tick off the legislature and get people yelling at me, so I'm just going to tap dance here. So the governor has not yet said if he would sign the bill if it passes. So a little bit of COVID information for you this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 9:17 as we continue on a Monday. The crime statistics for 2021 were released last week by the Wheeling Police Department. I invited Chief Sean Swartzfeger to come in and talk to us about those. Chief, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Howard. Good to be back on.
Always good to talk to you, sir. Is there a headline? It looks like overall crime was up, but in certain circumstances down. I mean, is that? Give me your paragraph analysis of what happened, then we'll detail it afterwards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, this is a good report, Howard. Our Group A offenses, which are your more serious crimes, are down this year. So that's
Robbery,
a great 5%. Right, Group A's down, but specific categories of Group A that are down are assaults at 5%, burglaries at 32%, robberies at 48%, vandalism down 18%, larcenies 5%, and sex offenses 25%. So those are really good numbers, and I think that I always am very proud of the membership of the Wheeling Police Department, but especially this year we've struggled with staffing challenges, either just having vacancies and then on top of that COVID. So in order to pull something like this off, with these kind of numbers, it's a testament to their work ethic. The other headline is that for the first time in 5 years, Howard, we have seen finally a reduction in our drug overdoses. So I think a 9% reduction in drug overdoses. Again, first time in 5 years. So those are the two significant headlines as far as the review of or analysis of these stats.
What do you attribute the decrease in drug overdoses? Is it, I'm not sure that's a policing issue, or is it more of an awareness issue? I don't know what that is. Tell me what that is.
Well, no, I do. There's several factors, and these are all just my opinions, but certainly one of the things that we really tried to focus on this year, if you recall, last year at this time, we had released our stats, and I think we had like a 3.8% increase in Group A offenses. So we tried to really buckle down this year and focus more heavily using our intelligence-led policing with the crime analyst. And so one of the things that we did, or a couple things that made an impact on the overdoses, is what we call selective enforcement operations based on the data. So, for example, we most recently we had Operation Nighthawk, which focused up around the 10th and Main Street area downtown, and spent a whole month on that. And made a ton of arrests, completed several search warrants, seized a lot of drugs. So that's going to make an impact. Several large drug task force cases that were successful in removing narcotics off the streets, so that's going to make an impact. Our program that we run with Serenity Hills, the overdose outreach program. So every time we have an overdose, we activate Serenity Hills, sends an outreach worker and meets us at the hospital. We'll do a soft handoff to them in hopes that that person that's overdosed, will seek some treatment or try to make some positive changes. But then finally, sadly, another impact is that, we have a laundry list of repeat overdoses. In other words, we have some people in the city that's overdosed at least 10 times in this calendar year, or this last calendar year. And unfortunately, some of those perish as a result of the multiple overdoses. So when you have an individual that may be overdosing 10 times in a calendar year that subsequently dies, they're not going to be overdosing anymore. So those can also impact the numbers. But nonetheless, a 9% decrease I was very excited to see that, and hopefully that we can continue that trend.
Chief, any thoughts on what you do about repeat overdoses? I mean, how do you handle that? These are clearly just addicts who are not going to, who don't even consider the fact that what they're doing is literally killing themselves. What do you do, or is there anything you can do?
Well, I mean, again, sometimes it takes rock bottom for them to recognize, and we can just hope that that's going to occur. You're right. Some people just want to continue to live that lifestyle. But we have, again, used Serenity Hills. We have brought individuals into homeless camps to do some outreach to try to get those folks, assistance, try to get them to understand the need for treatment for their drug addiction. But again, sadly, it is a very significant disease, and when you have individuals that are overdosing 10 times in a calendar year, it's not a good thing.
How much of the overdose comes from fentanyl? I mean, we hear so much talk about fentanyl. The federal attorney's been talking a lot about that. I mean, how big a deal is that in our town?
90% of what we're dealing with, Howard, as far as the overdoses. We've had people that have overdosed that had admitted to buying narcotics, thought they were buying, say, for example, an oxycodone on the street, and had no idea that it was actually pressed fentanyl. And that's what we're seeing. And unfortunately, we did see a slight increase in our overdose deaths in 2021, and that is clearly also a result of fentanyl.
But the fentanyl, ask this as a question, not as a statement. Are people who are dying of fentanyl or people who are still playing with fentanyl, are they aware what they're doing, or is it more of what you said, that fentanyl has been mixed in with something else or pawned off on them as something else? Are they taking fentanyl knowing it, or are they being tricked into being fentanyl users?
I think both, Howard. I actually watched a video not too long ago that there were several individuals. This was a hidden camera as part of a drug investigation, and 3 or 4 individuals in a drug trap house, and they were talking about the impacts of fentanyl and how exciting that was. And it's pretty disturbing to watch, but they were clearly interested in the effects of the fentanyl. And were bragging about, they call it dying. I died last week, I died. In other words, they overdosed and were brought back with Narcan. So there are certainly a lot of people out there that want to use fentanyl for the effects that the drug provides, but it's extremely dangerous.
It is so hard for me to comprehend that. I mean, it's just something I have a hard time. I always try to at least put myself in the shoes of another person. I can't comprehend someone who will purposely put something that is deadly to them in their body, thinking that that's a fun process. I just can't grasp that. It has to be difficult for you too. You watch a video like you talked about, or you talk to people maybe after they're recovering a little bit from an overdose. It has to be frustrating to you, or confusing even.
Absolutely, and at some points anger. I mean. We're seeing the same individuals over and over again. We do our very best to try to get them help in whatever means we can. I know there are a lot of good folks in the community working at the prevention level, trying to educate and prevent, but nonetheless, you still get that. And even though I recognize that it is a significant disease, I do get angry. I mean, you got to think about all of the first responders that they're potentially exposed to this danger. A needle or one of these narcotics could be laying around for a child to bump into. It's that part makes me angry.
Yeah, and I get that. I try to be understanding of addiction.
Correct.
But it's difficult when you see the impact of it, not just on that person's life, and not even just on their family life, which is horrible enough, but when it reaches out into the community, a circle of friends, or as you point out, even to law enforcement, it's hard for me to take. I try to. I mean, I try to be very understanding that this is something they maybe can't control, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Chief, the quality of life issues, what you call Group B issues, up, down this year over last?
Yeah, those are up, and that's expected, and that's what I'm sure you remember me speaking of this in previous years. So your focus should always be at the patrol level on Group B offenses, and the best way I try to describe that is if you have a proactive officer at 2 a.m. Seeing an individual suspiciously walking down an alleyway, and you approach that subject, or you maybe will end up making an arrest with that subject for a Group B type violation, drunk in public, disorderly, maybe a minor possession of narcotics. What you've probably done has taken that subject off the street, who was most likely about to commit a Group A offense, a felony larceny or a burglary, if you will. So your Group B offenses are always going to be up when you have more proactivity. So when you do these operations like we've done several times throughout the last year, or just officers getting it, understanding the geographic policing concepts, owning their beats, and being very proactive. And we do have a lot of good officers that are out here 24/7. So you're going to see those Group B's up, and I have no problem with that. It's a good thing to have more DUI arrests than the year previous, because you know that your officers are out there making the streets safe.
It's an interesting perspective, and if you stop them while they're DUI, you may stop them before they become DUI with a death or something. So
absolutely,
it's a timeline, it's a progression. Where in their, I hate to keep talking. Where in their criminal process do you catch them? And the earlier you can catch them, which oftentimes is with the more quality of life kind of things,
correct,
the more likely you are to prevent them from going on to the next step that they would have gone to if they hadn't gotten caught. So I get that. Chief, what you look at all these numbers, Group A, Group B, serious crimes, drug overdoses, quality of life, you kind of run it all together. I know that you're a very data-driven department. You've drawn some conclusions. What, if anything, needs to be changed in your department, or what do you have for this year, your plans to move forward or do things differently based on the numbers you've been looking at?
Well, certainly we have challenges that we have to tackle each year, and I do have a laundry list of items that we need to focus on. One of the most important is our staffing. Between COVID and just, again, the staffing challenges of having multiple vacancies, I mean, we've been able to reduce the Group A offenses and do the good things that we've done here, reflective in this data, despite being down as many as 14 positions, which is insane. So we really need to focus on getting those positions filled with quality people. We could do so much more. So obviously the goal is to continue these good trends. I'd like to come back in a year and talk to you about, Group A going down even more. I'd like to talk to you about the drug overdoses decreasing once again. But we have a lot of other strategic plans as far as, we're going to increase, for example, a civil disturbance type unit. We need to do some additional training and acquire some equipment related to that, just in the event that we have some situation like that we're properly prepared to handle that. But the staffing challenges are significant moving into 2022.
Do you have a hard time finding recruits? Is it just that nobody wants to be a cop anymore, or is it that we're not offering enough money? Or, I mean, what's the situation? Are there people who want to come on the force but just have chosen not to?
Yeah, that's primarily it, Howard. Across the country, you'll hear police leaders talking about the fact that nobody wants to be a police officer anymore. You see that in your testing. By the way, we're testing again February 26th. I was just in a meeting last week in Charleston, in the city of Charleston, with a much larger population than Wheeling in their region. I think they had 3 people show up to test for the positions of police officer. 3. We actually had a test here back in the fall where we only had 2 people show up. This most recent one, I think we had 8. We used to test every 2 years. Now we're testing 3 and 4 times a year. Nobody's coming. Is it a matter of money? Yes. I mean, our pay is competitive, but if we really want to draw folks into the profession, I think we need to work on that pay, on those pay issues. We're doing some nice things as a city, and I'm so grateful that by the end of the year we'll be moving into a state-of-the-art police facility, way overdue. The city council approved a assigned vehicle program. As soon as the supply chain gets back on track so we can start getting some cruisers, more police officers will be assigned a take-home vehicle. So those are positive things for recruitment and retention. But young people just are not interested. I think a lot of that is the national media, the social media that you see. There's a lot of police hate and a lot of miscalculations about the quality of people that are in this profession.
Well, I wanted to ask you about it. I mean, that is an issue you think, that people are seeing some of the national stories, and they tend to certainly be more national than local, but people are seeing these national stories about, I'm air quoting here, Chief, bad cops, racist cops or whatever, and there's just a sort of an anti-cop attitude in some places. Is that keeping people from wanting to even apply?
Absolutely, or they're afraid of the peer pressure of becoming a police officer, even though deep down they may want to. And it is there have not been any significant incidents, if you will, locally, but that doesn't mean that the mindset of young people is not along that vein, that even the Wheeling police or the local sheriff's departments in the area aren't that way. And I know that to be true, as I have spoken recently to young people, and I ask them why, their age groups are not applying to be police officers, or using, their skills and abilities to become law enforcement officers. And a lot of them honestly have said that there is a lack of trust, which is very unfortunate. But that comes clearly, in my opinion, mostly from social media, and then in a lot of cases, national media.
It is I'm old enough. I remember when being a cop was a badge of honor, no pun intended, a badge of honor, and that it was a family tradition often, and that to become a cop was a really great thing. Somewhere along the way, that has faded away, and I think we're probably all a little bit poor or for it. Chief, does it make sense to, and I know you do to some of this, to try to overcome that? Does it make sense to work more in community policing? To have people closer to the neighborhoods, closer to the citizens, to try to build a better trust that way?
Oh, absolutely, and we do that, and I think that's why we've been successful. And I hear that a lot, and I don't do social media much, Howard, but occasionally I will look at our Wheeling Police Department Facebook page, and there was a quote on a Facebook post that said something to the effect, and I'm not getting it absolutely correct, but so proud of the Wheeling Police Department. I've been in very many cities, but none like Wheeling, to where I can walk the streets and feel safe and know that my constitutional rights are protected. And those types of things go a long way. And you're right, it's all about community policing. And Wheeling police officers, it's nothing for them when they have time to get out and play some sports or basketball or kick a soccer ball with some kids in the neighborhood, or just get out and do foot patrols. That's one of the things that we've really focused on in 2021 is increasing those foot patrols. And yes, a lot of time those are directed to try to quell some criminal activity, but in the events when you're out and about like that, you do tend to bump into your citizens more often and have conversations.
One last thing, you talked about recruiting new officers. Are you losing officers? I know a number of years ago, you just kind of went through that period where a lot of old-timers had begun to retire, so you lost a lot sort of over a period of time. Are you losing officers or just having a hard time recruiting new ones?
Well, both. We just had sent 6 officers to the police academy a couple weeks ago, and then, 2 of them decided that, right away, and that this just was not for them, and resigned. So, I mean, you're hiring new people, and you're spending some money on them with some uniforms and equipment and some internal training, but then they go to the academy, and, they're just, young people are a little different. I have a hard time, kind of seeing eye to eye with them and their mindsets. But, to answer your question is we do have some, resignations, even young people that may start, then they'll quit, but also retirements and so forth. It's, in law enforcement, I've been in policing for 31 years, Howard, and, it's very rare that you're going to be at top, fully allocated with your numbers. There's so much turnover in the profession, but the retention is not too bad. The recruitment is where we're really struggling nationwide.
So overall, with the crime stats you looked at, with the concerns you have about staffing, et cetera, are you positive? Is the glass half full or glass half empty as we go into 2022?
Oh, it's half full. This is. I'm very proud of this report. I'm happy to be on your show and talk about it. It's reflective of the good work that the Wheeling Police Department is doing. I've always been very aggressive in policing, and my message to the officers are, let's go for the jugular as it relates to criminal activity. I do get a little frustrated with the revolving door of the criminal justice system, and we see the same individuals committing crimes over and over again because they're back out. But we got to keep doing what we do. And if we apply the pressure going into 2022, I think we can improve these stats even more.
Yeah, I think, I talked about this once before. It is frustrating to see the same guy, Sammy Smith, is arrested, charged, let out, arrested, charged, let out. I mean, there has to come a point at which officers want to go, oh, to hell with it. I'm sure they don't, but they have to want to say, oh, to hell with it.
Yeah, and the only message I can give them is all we can do is what we can do, and do your part. If there's a system failure, then it's on them. We've done our part. But you're absolutely right. Even, I'm not out there on the streets that often, but I get frustrated because I'm seeing the same. It's getting to the point where I can almost predict who's committed the crime, knowing that they're probably back out again. And that is also a national issue, and it's something that should be discussed because it's really, really causing problems. The same individuals, and I'm not talking about misdemeanor. I'm talking about felony subjects, either out on bond or out on probation, and just getting guns again and committing violent crimes again. It's not a good thing.
Chief, I appreciate your time as always. I appreciate the work you do as always. It's always good to talk to you, and thanks for sharing the information with us. And have a good 2022. It's not that we won't talk again. I'm just saying have a good 2022.
Yes, sir. Likewise, Howard. It's always a pleasure to be on your show, and you do a good job.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We'll talk again. Wheeling Police Chief Sean Schwartzfeger checking in this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. The crime stats for 2021 released last week, and you heard the chief review some of those. Quality of life crimes up, but his point is well made, Biff. The point is, if you can arrest someone for public intoxication, you may be arresting them before that same person goes down the road and ends up robbing a store or something. So it's a preventive action. It's interesting. I will still never, Biff, I'll still never understand this fentanyl. It kills you. I will never, I get the concept of addiction, honest to God, I do, but I will never understand people who will willingly take and take again if they can a substance that will kill them. It's hard for me to comprehend.
I mean, to even touch it. I mean,
yes.
Forget the fact that people take it. The story a couple years ago, and where was it, in Ohio, where the officers there were responding to a crime, and the one had a little bit on, and what do you do? Just barely touched it, or someone else touched it, and just like that, they were out.
Look, I want to be careful how I say this. I came up in the 60s and early 70s. I understand the idea of, quote, experimenting with drugs. And Bill Ehlenfeld and I talked about this on the air not too long ago. Nobody should, but some younger people in particular do. But there's a point you draw a line and go, okay, but not with something that will kill me. You know? Okay, pot will get you high or what have you. Even opioids, well, they'll kind of make you feel good until you get addicted to them. But fentanyl will kill you. It will kill you. Find something else to experiment with. But again, I guess I don't understand. I don't understand the addictiveness of that. I guess I don't.
Or just don't experiment at all.
Well, I mean, obviously that's the right answer. But again, even Bill Ehlenfeld, when we talked about it, said, look, that's the first thing. Just don't experiment with drugs. The truth of the matter is, some people will, but you got to be careful if you do. You don't act like an idiot. Yes, I know many of you are going, well, you're an idiot if you take drugs. I get that. I understand that. But don't be a big idiot. Don't be a dead idiot. Anyway, enough of my rant. Thanks to the chief for joining us. He's always good. I always love talking to him, Biff. He's a good guy.
Yes, he is.
18 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 17? 17? Is that what it is outside? Yeah, 17 degrees outside with some snow maybe later on this afternoon. Let's check some headlines for Metro News and a few other odds and ends. And Bob Westfall will be in a little bit to tell us what's working at the Big 7 today. Probably weather continuing to be an issue. All of that coming up here on the Watchdog Morning Show for a Monday.
West Virginia Metro. Last month, Governor Jim Justice announced a proposed 5% pay raise for all public employees. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
Metro News Sports, good morning. I'm Kyle Wiggs. Mountaineers endured that very difficult stretch of 3 consecutive games against ranked opponents. Unfortunately, West Virginia went 0-3 during that span, losing to Kansas, losing to Baylor, and Saturday losing at Texas Tech 78-65. It was tight until the final 4 minutes when Texas Tech outscored West Virginia by 10 points down the stretch. And 50 fouls were called in the game. Texas Tech went 25 of 36 from the foul line, making more free throws than West Virginia shot. Mountaineers got out-rebounded by 10 and committed 17 turnovers. West Virginia now 13-5 overall, 2-4 in the Big 12. They'll host Oklahoma Wednesday. Mountaineer guard Taz Sherman on having the game called close with 50 fouls whistled.
Well, we just got to play through it. We're on the Power 5 Division 1 level, so we just got to play through all the touchy fouls and all the stuff, now calls. We got to play through all that. You know, it's hard as a player sometimes, but, you know, you still just got to, again, control what you can control.
West Virginia, again, 3 straight losses to ranked opponents. Florida Atlantic beat Marshall on Saturday, 71-60. Marshall lost both of its games in Florida. The current losing women beat Oklahoma State 61-57, and Marshall's women improved to 6-1 in Conference USA with a win over Florida Atlantic. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. NFL Sunday, Kansas City tied the game with an exhilarating drive in 13 seconds in regulation. They moved it down the field, got into field goal range. Then Patrick Mahomes, he threw an 8-yard touchdown pass to Travis Kelce in overtime. Kansas City 42, Buffalo 36 in overtime. Also, the Rams beat Tampa Bay 30-27 on Sunday. From the Metro News Sports Desk, I'm Kyle Wiggs.
Sick of waiting for your furniture to arrive? Menards has the furniture you need in stock. Plus, you get a free rug. That's right. Buy any upholstered living room furniture at $299 or more and get a free 5x7 area rug. That's $149.99 in savings. Need a new chair? How about a sectional, a new recliner, or love seat? Buy one today, get a free rug. Hurry up. Get to Menards before they're gone. In-store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy all types of real estate completely as is. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The new year is here, and so are the new Toyotas. So visit your dealer and reserve yours today. Like the all-new Tundra, redesigned from the ground up and engineered for uncompromising power. Or explore the brand new Corolla Cross with available all-wheel drive and more cargo room than ever. Visit your Toyota dealer today or go online to buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Hurry, offers end January 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Babies come with lots of decisions.
Cloth or disposable? Crib or bassinet?
So when it comes to protection, go with the safest, most effective choice, vaccination. Get all the recommended vaccines for your baby by age 2 to protect your child against 14 serious childhood diseases. For more reasons to vaccinate, talk to your child's doctor. Go to cdc.gov/vaccines or call 800-CDC-INFO. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Liberals in Washington, D.C. are getting desperate. They want to eliminate the Senate filibuster rule to pass a federal takeover of West Virginia's elections. This Washington power grab would overrule common sense laws that safeguard West Virginia's elections. Our Senator Joe Manchin has promised to defend the Senate filibuster.
I will not vote to do that. I will not vote to end the filibuster.
And Manchin stood up to pressure from the D.C. liberals like New York Senator Chuck Schumer.
I do not support getting rid of the filibuster, and Chuck Schumer knows that.
Manchin specifically said he opposes any filibuster carve-out to pass the liberals' election takeover bill. If they can weaken the filibuster, Speaker Pelosi and Senator Schumer could jam through their socialist agenda. We need Joe Manchin to keep standing strong for West Virginia. Call Senator Manchin, 304-342-5855. Tell him to keep his promise. Protect the Senate filibuster. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Dutch Boy Platinum Plus. It's only paint. It's only paint that comes in an award-winning twist and pour container. It's only paint that will transform your den with just one coat of salted lavender into a writer's sanctuary. It's only paint that will help you become TV's hottest writer, where you'll meet this guy.
Hey,
Who starred in that thing.
now that's a twist I didn't see coming.
So yeah, it's only paint. Only easy opening, smooth pouring, change your life both professionally and romantically paint. Dutch Boy. Only at Menards.
If you want to hear it again, catch a Morning Show Rewind for some of the best bits and interviews from the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. They're on the podcast page at watchdognetwork.com or search The Watchdog on Apple Podcasts.
We're on air, online, on video, and on demand. Find us where you like us. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, you can ask any of the teams who played yesterday. Each win means that much more in the NFL playoffs, and that's why our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook are hooking new customers up with 30-1 enhanced odds for the divisional playoffs. Bet 5, win $150 on any team to win any playoff game. Sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook, make a deposit, claim your 30-1 enhanced odds. I've often said there's no better place to place a bet these days than on FanDuel. They are, of course, a partner with the NFL. It's a very simple, easy-to-use app, easy to navigate. If you're new to gaming, you won't have any trouble figuring out what you're doing. It's safe, it's secure. When you win, FanDuel gets your money to you in as little as 2 hours, and that's a pretty good deal. Now, if you already have FanDuel, they're hooking all customers up with $50 if you refer a friend and the friend uses FanDuel. So on your FanDuel app, there's a little referral code. It's specifically for you. You'll find it on your FanDuel app, and you send that off to your friends and say, hey, would you like to play FanDuel like I do? And if they take your code and they use that to download FanDuel for themselves, they get $50. You get $50 for referring a friend. So don't miss your chance to win $150 off a $5 bet, and then don't forget the refer a friend as well. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app using promo code Monroe, my name. Pick your playoff team before kickoff time. Always need to remind you, you must be 21 or older, physically present in West Virginia, new users only, $10 first deposit required. You must wager in designated offer markets. The maximum bonus is $150. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. As always, download FanDuel if gaming is a fun part of your entertainment dollar, but if gambling is a problem for you, instead, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net or call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's the best way to take care of your gambling problems if gambling is a problem for you. Just remember, FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook a partner with the NFL. As always, more ways to win. 6 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Kind of hanging around waiting for our friends from Big 7 to drop by and give us an update on what's happening. There's a fire in Moundsville this morning. I see that off the Big 7's website. So Bob may have some more info for us on that. Apparently, again, according to the website from Channel 7, one man is dead in Moundsville following an early morning home fire. And Bob is here right now to talk about that and other stories over at the Big 7. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, Howard. How you doing this morning?
I am well. Got through a wintry weekend again and ready to take up for another week, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Amen, brother. Couple more inches today, I'm just thrilled. I may move to Alaska just because I love snow so much.
You know what? I spent 2 weeks in Alaska a couple of years ago. I loved Alaska.
Yeah?
It was a lot of fun. No, don't know that I want to live there. I'm just saying I had a lot of fun there.
Right.
Although I almost got eaten by a moose, so that wasn't the fun part. I didn't like that part at all.
I was going to make a joke about a club and belonging to the moose, but I have nothing.
Hey, what can you tell me, if anything? I see on your website there was a fire in Moundsville this morning, or late. Oh no, over the weekend I guess it was, right?
Yeah, it was Saturday night.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Saturday night. Just what Chief Mitchell has told us happened around 3 o'clock in the morning on Ruby Street. It is a mobile home fire, so we know that. We know how fast those go up. One man did die in the fire. We know another was transported. They think the cause of the fire is smoking related. So we'll probably get some updates on that today. We'll give police department down there a call, see if we have anything new on that. Okay. So that's basically what we've got. One man dead on Moundsville over the weekend.
Okay.
We'll try and get an update on that some point today.
What else you're working on? I assume following the weather.
Yeah, as you know, we are in another winter weather watch. I think I just got that a few minutes ago. Aaron's upstairs checking things right now. A lot of schools canceled in the area, so we've got that. So we're going to follow that up, and Zach will be in this evening to kind of finish off the day. So it is January, still for another, 6-7 days. So we'll be watching those temps. Really cold temperatures coming in the next couple of days. Again, I keep telling myself it is January, and it is the northern panhandle of West Virginia, so we kind of expect that kind of stuff.
But it's cold outside right now. It looks like the temp just bumped up to about 20, which is good. We're going to go up to 32, I think, for the day. Right. But then the next couple of days, we're going to get cold. Overnight lows down to single digits, so it's going to be frigid once again.
It'll be a cold one, yeah. All right, a couple other things we're working on is West Virginia Northern received a grant from EQT. It's going to go to their welding program, but it also looks like they're going to start up a CDL, commercial driver's license program, so that's quite interesting. In light of the trucking shortage, the truck driver shortage, the shipping issues we were having across the country. So we're going to go down this afternoon, talk to them about what they hope to see in the near future when it comes to both their welding program and a CDL license, which is kind of interesting. So West Virginia Northern continues to grow, so we'll have that. Sports, probably the greatest playoff weekend in the history of the NFL. I'm sure Scott and Chip will follow up on that. Was not a dull moment for the entire weekend, so we'll follow up on that. Of course, other things, local high school sports and things like that. So we've got a little bit of everything this weekend.
And it's all there on the Big 7, WTRF TV. You can check it out at noon, 5, 6, 11, 10, 11, 5:30 for the statewide show. Mark has all the legislative coverage there. And then if you prefer, just check it out at WTRF.com, the award-winning website, or take TV7 with you in your pocket on the Storm Tracker 7 app and the News app. Best way to do it. You never miss a news story. Right. You never miss a weather update. Just have the apps right there set for push notifications, and life is good.
Couldn't have said it better, Howard. Couldn't have said it better. But you've been doing this a lot longer than I have, so.
Listen, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good talking to you today. Thanks a lot, Bob. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
And Biffy, I think all things considered, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock when they go around to the big gig. Are you back with me?
I will join you for a Tuesday.
Then, yeah, what the heck? We'll keep on doing it till we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
An armed suspect opening fire.
Okie dokie. All right, not bad. I got to learn to cut some of these interviews down, though. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it could have been worse because at 7:50, I was thinking, okay, it may be Metro News the rest of the morning. So, yeah, but at least we got something. We got things. Yeah, it worked out. It worked out okay. It worked out fine. The mayor was energized, which I was not expecting, and it was good. That was a good segment. Chief is always good. Yeah, I do too. I took a shot in the dark on this when I asked him to come on because I wasn't really sure, how much of this he wants to talk about. But I mean, and I say this in a good way. I couldn't shut him up, which is good. I mean, I'm glad he was energized. Yep. So they were two good segments. Tomorrow we got Squidieri, and there's something else I'm working on. And I can't remember what it is. But anyways, I think we'll be okay for tomorrow, and then we'll take it a day at a time. Yes. Okay, that's a good idea. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea because I don't know what the problem was, but I don't know. But yeah, so those are good ideas. If there's an update, that's great, and if not, even just leave it off and till tomorrow. We'll start from there. Talked to Bill over the weekend. He sounded really good, really good. No, he's still at the whatever it is, the rehab center, wherever it is. So I think I might be able to call the reports into your morning show on Monday. I said, Bill, I mean, I like those reports, no question about it, but geez, just get well. Don't worry about. Yeah. So I whatever he does, but I several times said, don't worry about that. That's not the issue at the moment. Yeah. But I tell you, I was amazed at how good he sounded. Strong, lots of energy. So I was, now, and I guess it's a good sign. He was his usual grumpy old self, which, I guess that means he's got to get back into his old attitude, which is good. It's good. So, but I was really pleased to hear from him, and I was really pleased with how good he sounded. Now, when he gets back, I don't know. He said, I think another 10 days still there. I don't know, but Yeah, and that's the critical thing. Just get healthy. And he said, well, maybe I could do the show from when I get home. I could do it from my man cave. Well, just get home, get settled in, see how you do, build up some strength. Be good to get him back into regular routine, but you know what it's like. If you push it too hard, the next thing you know, you push yourself back into a bad condition. So, yep. But he did sound good. I was pleased at how good he sounded. Yeah, because I've been very concerned about him. Very concerned about him. All right, that's what I've got working. I think Teddy did go back to school today, first time in a week. So he's there. That means I can have breakfast and take a nap. Okay, I like the sound of that. No, that'll be because I didn't get, with these two kids here over the weekend, I didn't get any. I used to take a nap during the day, especially on the weekend. I got no naps. And just two kids wanted to play. And they play by themselves, but pretty soon, Granddad, can you be the doctor if we're the patients? Sure. Oh, no. No, so I think I'll take a nap after I eat. All right, thanks for your help. We got through the trouble spots. Hopefully we'll get through them tomorrow. Try a reboot, and we'll see how that goes, and we'll reconvene in the morning. All right. Always appreciate your help. Thanks a lot. I will talk to you in the morning. All right, bye.
Studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful radio show in West Virginia.
This is Metro News Talk Live with Hoppy Kercheval.
Check set lineup link. Activated telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Hoppy. You're on.
Metro News Talk Line with Hoppy Kercheval is brought to you by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning, Metro News Talk Line. Dave Wilson sitting in for Hoppy Kercheval today and tomorrow. We have lots to get to on the show today. Yes, you may have seen on Twitter, maybe at the website, Hoppy did test positive for COVID. He's doing fine, last I checked, but we will check in on him in what I think will be a first for Metro News Talk Line. Hoppy will be a guest on his own show coming up a little bit later on here in the first hour. But I'll be in today and tomorrow as he observes his protocols, and hopefully Hoppy's back in his rightful seat come Wednesday. But the show must go on. We have lots to cover today. As the state legislature will get back to work in Charleston as the session continues, we will get an update. Brad McElhenney will get us caught up to speed. Couple of different guests, two very different industries, but both are facing similar issues. Staff shortages and recruitment and retention. And I'm talking about both within our public education system, as far as teacher shortages, how school systems are managing that, how